guys, it's Eileen coming at you from Just Kettlebells, and today I'm going to start a series that we're putting out. We're under shutdown here, shelter at home order in Illinois, so the studio is no longer open to the public. So I am not going to be doing online classes. I have a hard time. I really need to be able to see my people and train with them in order to teach people to swing and really to have a productive class. So I'm not going to be doing online classes, but what I'm going to do instead is a series of videos for how to work out at home on your own with some variations to do with a light bell. One of the things that I find for most people is most of my clients do actually have a couple of kettlebells at home, and a couple of my students have borrowed some, which is fine. Let me know if you're interested in doing that. But then they get home and they can't really do the same workout or training that they would do in class because they don't have access to the heavier bells that we have in class. So this series will teach you how to kind of make a light bell feel heavier, or be able to still get some good training experience with lighter bells. You can think about it as an opportunity to really go back to the basics and work on form, work on some variations, deload a bit, take a break, and then when we are up and running again, you should be even stronger and have not lost anything in the meantime. So today I'm doing variations for the deadlift with a light bell, and I have some different sized light bells, and depending upon what bell size you have and where your strength level is with the deadlift, you can pick one of these variations. Now I always like to start my workouts with a deadlift because it's usually my heaviest lift. It's the lift that I'm using the heaviest bells with, and it's a good way to start my session, get my body ready for the heavier weights, and then pretty much anything I pick up after that feels a little lighter, which I kind of like. So I'm going to start with some variations. The first one is a static stomp deadlift, and so you can have a lighter bell than you would normally lift. You would do regular deadlift, but then here you're just going to hold this position for a count of whatever, 30 seconds, 60 seconds, 2 minutes, whatever you can do, and then you can do a series of these where you're just doing the hold. And so the focus here is really on keeping this nice posture, keep the glutes tight, keep the chest up, keep the shoulders back. You don't want to start falling like this when you're holding the bell. You also don't want to do, as so many people do, kind of lean into it in order to support the weight. You want to take a nice tall posture and really be using your muscles to control the weight. So I'm going to come on down. So that's number one, static stomp deadlifts. Number two is a ballistic deadlift. So instead of really focusing on that top portion, we're going to be focusing on moving faster through the bottom. So we're going to come up, down, up, down, up, down, up. You can tap, touch and go, or just go on down. But we're focusing on really doing that fast, and then so making this more like a swing form for having that faster, more ballistic hip hinge. So that's two. Number three is a deficit deadlift. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to move in some risers. You can use anything that's going to lift you up a bit. And so here I'm going to perform a deficit deadlift. So the kettlebell is lower, which is going to force me to hinge lower and get deeper into that position, and really make me focus on my abs and my core staying tight during that descent, because you're going to be descending much lower than you're used to. That's three. Number four is a one-arm deadlift. Now you could also do a deficit one-arm deadlift, but if you only have one bell and it's really too light, and it's way too light to lift with two hands, even those other moves aren't working, you can lift with one hand, either in a sumo, that was a suitcase, or a sumo. So in a sumo, you're going to want to kind of line up the bell as if you had two bells here, and you want to just lift one. And then, so your bell is going to be a little off center, because you want to keep your shoulders square and lift. And then, so if you had it for a suitcase, you're going to have a little narrower stance. The bell's going to be at the side. I actually find these much harder, but same thing, have that other arm down so that you're not, because what you don't want to do is kind of be leaning into that. You want to make sure that act as if you're lifting 2 bells, but only lift 1, and that's really good for the anti-rotation. So that was 4. Number 5 is a kickstand deadlift. And this one I'm going to come a little lighter for the kickstand, because we're going to move into single legs after this. So a kickstand deadlift, you're going to have 1 foot behind you. So this is a regression of a single leg deadlift. So you're really using this one leg to lift the bell. Then from there, we can move on to number 6, which is a single leg deadlift. So here we're actually going to come off this foot in the back. It's key really to keep this leg nice and tight. This leg is going to be loose. This side of your body is going to be nice and tight. You're going to come down and up. Almost a little sloppy. Down and up. So that's the same with the bell on the same side. I actually find this much harder, so I'm going to go even lighter when I have the bell on the opposite side of the foot that I'm lifting off of. So here again, I'm going to have this side hinging, this side nice and tight. I'm going to come down and I'm going to lift. So that is single leg deadlift, same side and contralateral. And the last one I have on the board, I don't know if you can really see the board, but I'll post a clip of it underneath, is banded deadlifts. So banded deadlifts could go a couple ways. You can do it vertically. So I can have the band here, and then lift, and then I can feel the resistance here, and this is actually pretty loose, so you can tighten this up a bit if you want. And then that really focuses on the pull up and the hip hinge there. The other way I can do this, hopefully you'll be able to see it in the camera, is I can do this horizontally. Now I have a band attached to the wall here, and I'm gonna lift here. And this one is really good for this, where the bell wants to pull you forward, really keeping shoulders back and engaging and keeping good posture there, where the bell is going to try and pull you forward and you have to resist that. And so that one is really good too. And I don't do it enough. So this is an opportunity to explore variations of the movements with lighter bells. And hopefully, as I said in the end, you'll be stronger for it, as I think as we all come through this crisis, we're all going to be stronger for it. So stay safe, stay strong, and thanks for watching.